Miss Mary?
My family and I.
Hello, everyone. Our microphone didn't work very well, so I'm just going to yell. I'm also going to read because that's what I do. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Brad and Jade and their families would like me to thank you all for being here in this beautiful place on such an important day, to witness this ceremony and to celebrate their love. I'm a little nervous. This is my first wedding, and probably the last. I'm going to officiate only because Brad and Jade graciously got me ordained. I've still got 8 months later, so if I do a good job, give me a call. One of the sweet perks, by the way, of being ordained is I've got this clergy parking pass. It's awesome. Especially at the liquor store. Anyway, seriously, I'm really honored to be a small part of this ceremony and this special day. I've known Jade, well, anyway, since she was in high school and she hung out with my daughter Mia. And they had kind of a gang. There was 30 of them at least in and out of my house almost every day. Once a week, they came over and watched Project Runway on our big projection screen. So that was always a treat. I hate Project Runway. But you know what? Jade always stood out as such a kind and gentle person. She was always glowing from within, and she was always one of my favorites. It was only when I got to know her better that I found out about her incredible artistic talent in jewelry. By the way, she made this bolo for me.
Yay!
Yeah. And she's such a great painter. I have one of her paintings. It's all about bowling. I'm a bowler, so it's really great. She's truly a force of nature. I met Brad last summer when Jade brought him over to visit Mia, and I was immediately impressed by just how laid back this guy is and how easily and seamlessly he just blended right in to what we were doing that evening, which was drinking. And we play a dice game called LCR. And as I remember, I think we won $5 off of Brad's. If we could take a little collection, that'd be great. But after a few chats with him, I just knew what a great guy he was. In fact, he blended so seamlessly that later on in the evening, when Mia and Jade were talking, he just went to sleep on my couch. Right at home. I mean, not a problem. That's when I knew he was a really great guy. Oh, please sit down. I'm sorry. I told you it's my first wedding. I didn't know I had to tell you to sit down. Sorry. If there's anybody that would like to sit down right now, it would be me. Brad's sisters weighed in on a little bit about Brad as well. Brad's little sister, Brennan, says that he has a heart of gold and is such a great uncle to Cooper, Quinn, Oliver, and Marin, and will be for Xander and Warren also. His older sister, Brittany, says that she and Brennan thought that his love for Blink-182 and his crazy stunts with his friend Robert, will you stand up please, or wave? Robert, would go on, and he would never settle down, never get married, but they are so glad that he found Jade. Age 3. Sorry guys, I can't memorize a thing. Jade told me the story about how she and Brad met at Tech 10 years ago, and they were always friends, but they never dated. And then they both moved to Austin, kind of lost touch with each other, and you know, time moves on. One night at the White Horse Honky Tonk, someone tapped her on the shoulder, and guess who it was? It was Brad. They hugged, and he asked if he could buy her a beer. Coors Light, Jade said. Of course. Anybody that knows Jade knows those words. They went outside to catch up, and one of the first things he asked her was, "Are you dating anyone?" When she replied, "No." She said, "You?" He said, with a huge smile from ear to ear, "Me neither." They caught up for a little while, and then Jade had to leave with her friends. But she said right then she knew that they weren't going to be just friends, and that she never wanted to lose track of him again. Sorry, I'm going to get a little emotional myself. That's why we're in shades, babe. 2 days later, he picked her up in his truck, and they went for lunch, and then they went out to a thrift store and shopped a while, and eventually he took her home. She had to work that night, so they had to, call it a day. And then Brad left the next day for 2 weeks on a TV shoot in Alpine, and all the while he was gone, they talked on the phone, they kept in touch, and when Brad got back, he had brought her some flattened coins that he thought she might be able to make something out of. And as we all know, Jade can make something beautiful out of anything, a rock, a twig, whatever. And Jade says, that's the thing about Brad. He's always thinking about me, bragging about me, and he's just as proud of me as I am of him. And then she continued. Soon enough, one night he kissed me, and I knew at that moment it would be my first kiss to ever have. I cannot wait to spend the rest of my life next to him. Brad shared a few things about Jade as well. Jade is the sweetest. She's so supportive of every harebrained idea I have. She always lets me be myself. It's always been easy to have a good conversation with Jade. I've never felt any judgment or indifference coming from her. She really cares about the people she cares about and isn't afraid to show it. Sorry about the paper, guys. She's also the funniest. She is constantly saying hilarious things. And I, meaning Brad, constantly copy her jokes and take them to work so everybody thinks I'm cool. That I can do. And she knows more Happy Gilmore and Waterboy quotes than I do, which is really, really important. She's also very generous. She let me get away with our first kiss, me upside down, standing behind her like Spider-Man, because I was too nervous and too cowardly, I can't believe I said cowardly, to kiss her in the normal way from the front. And she only makes fun of me every once in a while about that. Jade is smart, much smarter than me. She keeps me from looking dumb all the time. That must be somebody who knows me rather well. She sees the world in its true form and explains it to me when she can tell I'm struggling to see what's really important. Jade is beautiful. Jade is everything I've ever wanted. Intelligent, funny, independent, caring, artistic, loyal, loving, and a bunch of other fantastic things I don't even have the words to describe. I feel so lucky to even know her and exist at the same time as her, and I'm so excited to live my life with her. So now let's begin the ceremony. Dearly beloved, we are gathered today in the presence of these witnesses to join Jade and Brad in matrimony, which is recommended to be honorable among men, and therefore it is not by any to be entered into unadvisedly or lightly, but reverently, discreetly, advisedly, and solemnly. Into this holy estate, these two persons present now come to be joined. If any person can show just cause why they may not be joined together, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. Thank you for that. Brad and Jade, marriage is the most important of all earthly relationships. It should be entered into reverently, thoughtfully, and with full understanding of its sacred nature. Your marriage must stand by the strength of your love and the power of faith in each other and in God. Just as two threads woven in opposite directions from a beautiful tapestry, so too are your two lives when merged together and will make a beautiful marriage. As 1 Corinthians says, love is very patient and kind, never jealous or envious, never boastful or proud. Love is never selfish or rude. Love does not demand its own way, and love is not irritable or touchy. Love does not hold grudges and will hardly notice when others do it wrong. Love is never glad about injustice, but it rejoices whenever truth wins out. If you love someone, you will be loyal to them no matter what the costs. You will always believe in them and will always stand your ground in defending them. Brad and Jade have written their own vows, and Jade will
It's longer than I remembered. Brad, of all the time I've known you, you've never failed to be the best friend and a genuinely good person. You are also the most loyal and hardworking person I've ever met. This is why it wasn't much of a surprise to me how fast I fell in love with you. It's hard to believe that all I've ever wanted was right in front of me for so long. You are the funniest person I've ever met. You constantly have me laughing if I'm sad or randomly, unannounced, like when you hike your sweatpants up to your chest and dance around the living room. Or down the lumber aisle at Home Depot because you think I'm bored. You are my best friend, and I know that I can always count on you. I promise I'll always make you laugh when you need it, and when you need a hand, you've always got mine to hold. I'll always be your finder of things you can't find, and your closer of cabinet doors you don't close. And if you ever make me mad, I'll still make you enough bacon in the morning. I promise that when we decide to start a family, I'll be the best mom that I can, because I know you'll be the best dad. And I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make you feel as important as you make me feel. The end.
That's crazy.
there was bacon.
I promise to always do my best to make you smile in good times and in bad. I will always be true to you and love you unconditionally. And trust that you will do the same for me. I will live my life for your happiness because your happiness is my happiness. I will brush my teeth at nighttime in addition to brushing and furthermore do my best to eat a balanced diet and exercise so I can live this wonderful life with you for as long as possible. I promise to always show you and act on the love and kindness that you have introduced to me. I'm so thankful that we even met and I eventually learned what it is to experience true love and to find my forever best friend and companion. I promise I will never forget where we came from or why we are together. Storms never last to love you forever.
Okay, let's do some I do's here real quick. Brad, do you take Jade to be your wife? Do you promise to love, honor, cherish, and protect her, forsaking all others, and holding only unto her forevermore?
I do.
Jade, do you take Brad to be your husband? Do you promise to love, honor, cherish, and protect him, forsaking all others, and holding on to him forever?
I do.
The ring is a symbol of the unbroken circle of love. Love given freely, and it can't come out of my pocket. Sorry. Almost got it. Love freely given has no beginning and no end. No giver and no receiver, for each is the giver and each is the receiver. May these rings always remind you of the vows you have taken. Would you please place that on her? All right, Brad, please repeat after me. I, Brad, take thee, Jade,
I, Brad, take thee, Jade,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
for richer or poorer,
for richer or poorer,
in joy and sorrow.
in joy and sorrow.
And I promise my love to you
And I promise my love to you
with this ring.
with this ring.
I take you as my wife,
I take you as my wife,
for as long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall live.
I'm getting there. Okay, Jade, would you put this ring on Brad's finger and repeat after me? I, Jade,
I, Jade,
take thee, Brad,
take thee, Brad,
to be my husband,
to be my husband,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
in sickness and in health,
sickness and in health,
for richer or poorer,
for richer or poorer.
and I promise my love to you.
And I promise my love to you.
And with this ring,
And with this ring,
I take you as my husband,
I take you as my husband,
for as long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall live.
Let us pray. Lord, behold our family here assembled. We thank you for this place in which we dwell, for the love that unites us, for the peace accorded to us this day, for the hope which we expect tomorrow, for the health, the work, the food, and the bright skies that make our lives delightful. For our friends in all parts of the earth, amen. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Ivy. Let us go. They're going to be doing photos for about an hour. So there are refreshments over there on the deck. And in about an hour after that, dinner will be served in the house here.
We need immediate family to stay.
Oh, immediate family. So when immediate family, stay right here.
Brothers, sisters,